Hola chicos, hoy es el 20 de abril. Este es el primer video instruccional para la clase de Español 4. So this is your first distance learning instructional style video. We are moving on in the chapter we left off working in when the closure started. In this lesson, you'll be learning, or better said, reviewing, because we learned it last year, the past subjunctive, also known as the imperfect subjunctive, el imperfecto del subjuntivo. This should look familiar to you from last year, but we haven't done very much with it so far this year. If you have your textbook with you or you're using the V-text, you can find the explanation in your textbook en la página 214. Esta es la segunda parte de gramática de la lección 6, estructuras 6.2. So, to form the past subjunctive, we'll look first at how to form it and then at how and when and why we use it. To form the past subjunctive, which is also referred to as the imperfect subjunctive, we always begin with the ustedes, ellos, ellas form of the verb in the preterite tense. That is, the third person plural form. The third person plural form of verbs in the preterite tense always end in aron, ieron, or eron. And so we would drop the ron, the three letters from the end of the form, and we would add the past subjunctive endings, which we'll be looking at in just a moment. But here's an example first for you. The verb perder. We would start with the ellos preterite form, perdieron. We drop the ron, and then we would add the ending. For example, the yo ending for the past subjunctive is ra. Perdiera. So, what are the other endings? You can say them after me if you're not too embarrassed to do that in your own home. They are ra, ras, ra, ramos, rais, ran. One more time and I'll slow it down. Ra, ras, ra, ramos, rais, ran. So those are the endings we're going to add for all verbs. AR, ER, IR, regular, stem changing, irregular, all of the verbs. We start with the ellos preterite form, drop the ron, and add these endings, which last year you might recall we referred to as the cheerleader endings, the rah-rah endings. One other thing to point out is that in the nosotros form of the past subjunctive, if we're writing the verb, we would always place an accent mark over the vowel right before the ramos ending. Okay, so let's take a look at a couple of these examples. Juzgar. Juzgar is a regular AR verb, so the ellos form is juzgaron. Drop the ron and add the ra-ra endings, the past subjunctive endings. So we get juzgara, juzgaras, juzgara, juzgáramos, juzgarais, juzgaran. This works for regular verbs, stem-changing verbs, all the different kinds of verbs. For example, dormir is a stem changer in the preterite. The O changes to U in the preterite tense. So we start with the ellos preterite form, durmieron, drop the ron, and add the past subjunctive endings, durmiera, durmieras, etc. If you need to study these examples a little longer, you can go ahead and pause. And let's do a quick little practice to check how you're doing. Pause the video so that you can try these out on your own. Maybe write them on a piece of scratch paper or on a Google Doc, if you're working on your computer. Write them somewhere where you can check them. And now I'm going to put up the answers. So if you need a longer pause, pause longer. Okay, so here are the answers. The yo form of caminar in the past subjunctive is caminara. Saber, ella supiera. Vivir, vosotros vivierais. Respetar, ellos respetarán. Ir, tú fueras. Pedir, usted pidiera. Estar, nosotros estuviéramos. Okay, let's now take a look at when and why we would use this verb tense. Uses of the past subjunctive. The past subjunctive is used for all the same reasons as the present subjunctive, but when the time frame of the sentence is in the past. So, when the verb in the main clause, or the independent clause, refers to the past, if the subjunctive is required in the other clause, then it should be in the past subjunctive. Let's take a look at a couple of examples of that. So, in this sentence, we see the present tense in the main clause and the present subjunctive in the dependent clause. Ella recomienda que nosotros vayamos a las 5. She recommends that we go at 5 o'clock. The second clause is in the subjunctive because the first clause is expressing a recommendation. Now, if we pass this sentence through our magic time machine into the past, we have, ella recomendó que nosotros fuéramos a las 5. She recommended that we go, or that we went, at 5 o'clock. So in this case, we still need subjunctive in the second clause because the first clause is still expressing a recommendation. But because the first verb is in the preterite tense, we need to use the past subjunctive in the other clause, not the present subjunctive. Let's take another look at another example. Necesitamos una profesora que sepa usar las tecnologías modernas. Here we need the subjunctive in the second clause because we are describing something that is indefinite or unknown and possibly non-existent. We need a teacher who knows how to use modern technologies. We don't know which teacher that is or whether she exists, so we use subjunctive in the second clause. Because the first clause is in the present tense, we use the present subjunctive in the second clause. However, let's move this sentence through our magic time machine to the past, and now we have necesitábamos una profesora que supiera usar las tecnologías modernas. We needed a teacher who knew how to use modern technologies. We're describing something or someone that we needed in the past. The first clause is in the imperfect tense. Therefore, we need the past subjunctive, not the present subjunctive. Another use of the past subjunctive is after the expression como si, which means as if. This one's easy because it's just always followed by the past subjunctive. If you see the words como si, whatever verb comes after them will go in the past subjunctive. Por ejemplo, tú me hablas como si fuéramos enemigos. You talk to me as if we were enemies. Ella me miró como si no me conociera. She looked at me as if she didn't know me. In both of these cases, the verb after como si is in the past subjunctive. And we have one more use of the past subjunctive. It is often used with the verb querer to make polite requests, express wishes, or to soften statements. You actually have seen this before way back in Spanish 1 or 2, I think, when you learned how to order things in a restaurant. Okay, so quisiera estar en la escuela is basically the same as saying quiero estar en la escuela, but it's just commonly used to express wishes. So, I would like to be at school, I want to be at school. Quisiéramos 2 enchiladas con pollo, por favor. We would like, again, 2 enchiladas, etc. Okay, te toca a ti. It's your turn. Inténtalo. Pause the video here. Take your time giving it a try. You're going to use the past subjunctive in all of these sentences. I'm about to switch it over to the answers, so make sure you pause it first and then you can check your answers. How did you do? Okay, chicos, si tienen preguntas, si necesitan ayuda, pueden escribirme, pueden enviarme un help request en Supersite, pueden preguntarme en nuestro Google Meet. Y bueno, espero que tengan una buena semana y nos vemos el viernes. Hasta luego.